Hi and welcome to SCW, the wrestling channel here on YouTube.com. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video. Please subscribe right now. Leave any comments in the comments section. Please like and share the video as well. Gonna be talking Impact Wrestling. A lot of news coming out from last night's show and what we're going to get going forward as well. The breaking news, we've got Emergence, going to be a great show that's going to be over the course of 2 weeks, starting in 2 weeks. And we've got a big championship match announced for 3 weeks' time. It is the rematch from Slammiversary, the Knockouts Championship. Diana Purrazzo will be defending the gold against Jordan Grace. As well announced for the show as well, we know the Tag Team Championships will be on the line as well in a rematch clause as well for the North. They will be challenging the champions, of course, who are the Motor City Machine Guns. So some exciting matches already announced for Emergence. I really like the name. It is fresh, original, and it's not corny as well, which I really like that's been brought in for an original name as well. Sometimes new pay-per-view names aren't always so good these days in wrestling, I find. So this one I really like, and I love the way that it's really highlighted Emerge, as if we're going to really make some new stars here. We're going to really bring the product up here, and we've got some exciting times going forward in Impact Wrestling as well. So I'm really looking forward to Emergence in a couple of weeks. It's a nice placeholder straight in the middle on our way to Bound for Glory, of course, and the last pay-per-view was Slammiversary. It's around the halfway stage, so it's a great way to finish those sort of middle of the road feuds as we build then towards the Bound for Glory card. And here with the Women's Championship match, of course, the Knockouts, Purrazzo and Grace will be a great way to finalise that feud off, and we can start building for Kylie Ray going into Bound for Glory. So I really like that. Same with the Tag Team Championship as well. We can have a new direction going after this. Other matches that we could get, perhaps, I mean, we're starting to get Sami Callihan and Rob Van Dam as well. There was a point in the show that Sami Callihan was going to answer Eddie Edwards' open challenge, and of course he was attacked by RVD on the staging area. Of course, they've started a program in the last couple of weeks, but Sami Callihan managed to go through with the match, but did come out with the short end of the stick. Eddie Edwards is still your champion. To be fair though, Eddie Edwards should really offer a rematch, shouldn't he? Because if he wants to be this fighting champion, he kind of got a head start really in this match with RVD attacking Sami. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But I know Edwards has got another open challenge next week, which I'm quite looking forward to on Impact Wrestling. Other matches that we could speculate as well for the show, but of course at this point only speculation. We could get the X Division Championship, we could get Chris Pay against TJP, we could see the likes of perhaps the Good Brothers against Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. That is building quite nicely. EC3 versus Moose. We're starting to get a good indication now about the control of the narrative for EC3. Of course, he wants to actually win the TNA World Heavyweight Championship so he can burn it to the ground and can get rid of his past and start afresh in the future. I think it's a very interesting twist for his narrative. I think it's a great storyline that they're doing with that, so it'll be exciting to see where that goes going forward. Be interesting to know what happens with Heath as well. Of course, he actually lost to Moose this week on Impact Wrestling, so maybe might get another opportunity to earn a contract. Time will tell. But we could even get a World Heavyweight Championship match at Emergence, because it's building quite nicely with Eddie Edwards and Eric Young. So let's go into what was the big angle on this week's show of Impact Wrestling, which of course Rich Swann retiring, which for me was very emotional, was very well done. Of course it feels a bit like a work because Rich Swann has come back here. He was the 4th participant in Slammiversary. Of course he filled that vacant spot, only to be actually taken out by Eric Young after he'd rolled Eric Young up in the match as well during that elimination of the 5-way. And they've built things back to square one. Rich Swann had done all that hard work through 7 months to get over this horrible injury that he was told he wouldn't come back from. He came back from it, and now he says in storyline terms that he's got to go for it all again. He's on crutches. It looks very painful, and you felt very sorry for him because, I mean, Rich Swann delivered so well on this promo. It was done to perfection, if I'm being brutally honest, to the point that the whole roster actually came round to, tap on the ring as well, as it looked like he was going off into the sunset, retiring, saying he's got to do what's best for his health, that he couldn't come back from this. He was helped outside of the ring once he'd actually done the announcement. You could see Eddie Edwards as well, who's had a bit of a slow build of Eric Young, hugging, really holding on to Rich Swann, really feeling sorry for him. So he's a key pivotal part in this, of course, and as well, Willie Mack, his good close friend as well, was there at the moment. We see the Rascals, so lots of people around the ringside. They watched Rich Swann go to the top of the ramp, and as he turned to do his final farewell, he was attacked by Eric Young, and I've got to say, Eric Young, one great shot with the crutch as well. You can say about heat, there's not enough heat sometimes in wrestling with certain superstars, but Eric Young, the world-class Maniac Kim, has got so so much heat from this. It was done so well. Honestly, it was my favourite part of Impact by a country mile. I absolutely loved this segment, and I hope that it's built in a nice slow pace here, because Eric Young now has got two natural feuds going forward. Of course, Willie Mack, a close friend, former tag team partner of Rich Swann. They've been building up, as I said, on his terms, his time for a match with Eddie Edwards. Perhaps Emergence is the place they might do it. They may even save it for Bound for Glory, because for me, in my personal opinion, Rich Swann here, he should be written off the TV for at least the next 6 weeks or so, maybe even longer, and perhaps he should be involved at the January pay-per-view. That should be the time that him and Eric Young finally lock horns, because personally, I think a slow build here is a perfect build, and they've done so well with this. I'm very excited to see where it will lead to going forward. But before I leave you today, of course, there is one more story as well to talk about, and of course, it's everyone's favourite Out of the Arena segment this week. No, I'm not talking about Raw Underground. I'm talking about, of course, Wrestle House. Of course, that continued on this week with 2 more segments on Impact Wrestling. I must admit, I didn't enjoy it as much this week, although the story terms, they did what they needed to do, and they got us in the direction that we needed to go, of course. And they used Kylie Ray as the good example for it, because I always wondered, would people get voted out of this Wrestle House? Would they find ways to get rid of people? It looked like Johnny Bravo had found a way to escape, but of course Rosemary said that people were not going to escape until she said so, that people were not allowed to leave this house until Johnny Bravo gets the hint. Of course, he left because Kylie Ray shared this information that was shared to her, which was supposed to be a secret, did lead to a match between those two, and it was very excitingly done as well. It was very well done. I wasn't a fan of the nose pinching stuff. I do find it a bit cringy from the Kylie Ray side of things, but it felt like that Taya, who was a special guest referee in this match as well, was actually on Rosemary's side here, wanting to give the slow counts, wanting to give the fast count when Rosemary took the pin. But of course, Johnny Bravo made his return during this match. He had obviously had time to think about and digest what had come. He'd come back to support Rosemary. Rosemary looked so happy. She turned around and she got a super kick for her troubles. And Taya, even with the slowest of counts, had to count to 3. There was no way Rosemary was getting up at the end of this. So very interesting stuff indeed, and we'll have to wait and see what happens going forward. I must admit, the first segment, I love Johnny Swinger. He's so funny. Literally, he's just a gimmick, and the thing is, his character and his in-ring work and all of his actions are just all through the gimmick. They're not just through a person that does moves in the ring and builds their personality off what they do in their actions. This guy, his actions come as a result of his personality, and I just find he's sometimes a bit of a treasure. I think that he's undervalued at times, I feel, in Impact Wrestling. He fits himself in this perfect sort of undercard area of the show, and usually he just finds himself with these little one-liners that are just very funny. He ended up in a 2-on-1 handicap match, which he loved the thought of as well, being in the ring against Alicia Edwards and Susie, but of course he was taken to the woodshed, so to speak, and of course lost this between the two ladies. But overall, I thought that it was okay. I have a prediction of where I think how long this is going to go. I believe that we'll probably take this to the end of Emergence, so I'm going to guess that we've got 3 more weeks of Wrestle House. I do hope that the jokes are a little bit as stronger next week as they were the first week. I felt that I was laughing more during Wrestle House during the first week than this week, but we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen going forward, and hopefully we will get to a natural conclusion with this and we can get back to doing things in the ring. So, but overall, I thought that it was a strong week, and I'm looking forward to seeing where the direction goes forward of Impact Wrestling. I think that there's a lot to be excited about right now with the product. Congratulations to Kimberly as well. She is now signed full-time with the promotion, and that she is actually going to be doing Deanna Praza's Dirty Work, it feels, next week, having a match against Jordan Grace, and if, of course, Kimberly can do that, then she'll get herself a title match. I can't see that in the early stages, to be honest. I expect Jordan Grace to come out comfortably with the W, but certainly is a nice little teaser for in the meantime, building to Emergence, and I think it's a good way to do the story. In the meantime, it brings someone else in on the action as well, so I'm all for it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Impact brings next week. But that's all from me anyway. Thank you for watching on SCW, the wrestling channel. Please share it with a friend. Spread the word of the channel, especially if you've got some Impact fans out there. I do cover WWE and AEW as well as maybe some other promotions from time to time also. But please like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified when a video comes out. And that's all from me, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.